Just got off the underground. I'm on my way home after the game against Chelsea. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. You walk away from that game feeling disappointed, really disappointed. But not disappointed at the performance, but more disappointed. Boy racers. But more disappointed at the results, because we didn't deserve to lose that game, not by any stretch of the imagination. This is a performance tonight that West Ham fans should feel proud of, and I dare any fan to turn around and say that they're upset with the way we performed, or the lineup, or the way we set ourselves up, etc. Because I think West Ham United deserved more than a point from this tonight, but unfortunately, if there is anything to be upset about, it's about the lack of quality that we have to bring on from the bench. But I'm going to talk about some bench players in a moment. Lineup, much the same. I think it was the same, apart from what Bowen was back, but the back was the same. Areola in goal, with Soufal, Kilman and Creswell as a back three. Fine, I had no issue with that. I kind of half expected it. We knew Mavropanos was back from suspension, but many of us speculated whether he would play or not. But Potter stuck with the players that performed well in the last game, and he kept with Soufal, Kilman and Creswell at the back. And then he had Wan-Bissaka and Emerson as our wing backs, and Alvarez was missing. Now, he ain't been sold, and I can only imagine that the reason why he wasn't around was because he must have had an injury, because he wasn't on the bench either. So nothing's been announced with regards to Alvarez, so I don't think it was anything to do with him going in this January window. I think it's more to do with the fact that he wasn't suspended either, by the way. So I think it was more to do with the fact that he must have picked up some kind of injury, maybe in training, maybe, just before the game, I don't know. But that gave Graham Potter the opportunity to introduce Andy Irving. And us fans took to him and encouraged him. And he played really well. Andy Irving, I've renamed him the Scottish Iniesta. And I think he looked tidy. I think he looked decent. He didn't look afraid. He looked like he fitted in, and he did fine, absolutely fine. And he lined up alongside Souček as the holding two. And then further up front, Bowen was back, as I said. He was the spearhead, and he was supported by Mohamed Kudus and Carlos Soler. So the lineup was fine. It's the best that we've got. Ferguson, of course, that we know is in the at West Ham now. He was signed too late, so he couldn't play tonight. And same with James Ward-Prowse. He's back, but he couldn't play. He wasn't eligible to play tonight either. Neither were on the bench, so we had all the youngsters on the benches again. And we started the game off all right. In the first half, we were disciplined, very disciplined. We contained them, we frustrated them, we didn't allow them any space to move, to manoeuvre, and we did well. And, we got the break, and Bowen was back, and he scored a fantastic goal. And it was well deserved. I think we deserved to be 1-0 ahead at half time. In the second half, we knew they were going to come at us. In the second half, it took 7 minutes before Maresca decided to make changes. And here's the difference, I guess, because they were bringing on players, who, I don't know what they're worth, 30, 40, 50 million pound players. I mean, they made, 3-4 subs in order to try and get into the game. And they did just that. Where we can bring on, at this moment in time, Danny Ings, they can bring on Gui or whatever his name is. I don't know what he's worth. And they can bring on various other players who aren't doing it. So they take off Sancho and they bring on Enzo or whoever. But you get my drift. You know, they've got the quality on the bench. You know, they've got 30, 40, 50, 60 million pound players sitting on the bench waiting to come on to do their thing. And we knew they were going to come at us. But their first goal, I mean, you know, if that had been us scoring that, it would have been called back for a foul. It would have been called for offside. And yet neither, despite VAR taking 3 or 4 minutes to actually make a decision. And then they only made a decision on whether it was offside, and they decided it wasn't. So I'd really like to see that again. But they didn't call it back earlier because Jared Bowen got fouled by Lewis Colwell, you know, in the centre of the park, which led to the build-up for them scoring their goal. It should have been called back for a foul. The referee, by the way, I mean, we talk about referees and we talk about VAR. Goodness me. You get this with foreign coaches who manage Premier League teams, where they do, you know, they get their teams to play dirty. They get their teams to play in a manner that is just not football for me. Dirty, niggly fouls, nasty fouls that go unpunished. So they do it, and they do it for a whole half. And it took the referee something like 60 odd minutes or 60 or whatever to give the first yellow card. And it was a nasty foul. You know, it had to be a nasty foul for the ref to give a yellow card against Chelsea. But the damage is done. Every time we broke free, every time we started to get the ball into a dangerous area, either they had a player that was lying down holding it. I thought play was only meant to stop when it was a head injury. But the ref kept stopping the game every time a Chelsea player went down. And then you see the Chelsea player get up and have nothing wrong with him. So that interfered with our flow of football, our flow of our game. And the referees in the Premier League have got to stop this. You know, do it in the first 5 minutes. When you get a niggly foul, take the yellow card out, and that will stop them from doing it. And Chelsea, Arsenal do it, various other teams do it, where we don't do it. Maybe it's because we're managed by British managers, all right, apart from Lopetegui. But those niggly nasty fouls kept stopping our rhythm, kept stopping our flow. But their first goal, should have been called back for a foul on Bowen. Anyway, they got it. No foul given, no offside given, and they got back into the game. And then, you know, just so disheartening that you know, the goal that they scored was a deflection. I mean, I don't blame Wan-Bissaka. There's nothing much he can do. You know, a defender has to try and go and block the ball. And up until then, when we were blocking the ball, we were blocking it and it was going way away from the goal. And this time, Wan-Bissaka put his foot out from Cole Palmer, and it just flew over Areola's head. Nothing that the goalie could do about it. And to go 2-1 down and to lose that game was gutting, because we deserved more. We deserved something from that game. Look, we made changes. We tried to affect the game. We made some changes. I think, like I said earlier, Andy Irving played really well. He came off, and Danny Ings came on. Danny Ings is Danny Ings. You know, nothing much you can do. You know, you'll see out his contract at the end of this season, and then we'll bid him farewell for the 3 goals or 2 goals that he scored for West Ham United in the time he's been here. But Luis Guilherme came on. There's been much speculation about there are 3 players apparently that were rumoured to be linked to be sold before this January window shut. They were Guido Rodriguez, they were Luis Guilherme, and they were Andy Irving. Well, I think Potter demonstrated that Irving and Guilherme have a role to play. And fair play to Guilherme. He came on for the last, whatever it was, 10 minutes, whatever. And in that time, he created 2 or 3 chances. You know, he actually created a number of chances for us that we just couldn't put away. And Bowen being back after not playing, you know, he ran out of steam. Mohamed Kudus, his endeavours there, that that finishing touch is just not there at the moment for Mohamed Kudus. It's just not happening for him. It's not been happening all season, and he had a couple of chances. There were opportunities. I think he's getting desperate now because he had opportunities where he could have taken the ball and laid it off to someone who might have been in a better position to shoot, and he just held on to it a bit too long. He had a chance right at the death where he needed a turn, but every time he got the ball, he was surrounded by Chelsea players. And I think what's going to be really good is when we get the likes of Somerville back, and now Bowen's back as well. When we get a number of players back from it, well, Somerville back from injury, and now we've got an opportunity to use Ferguson. You know, I think Ferguson is going to mainly, for the first part of the, his arrival at West Ham, is going to come on from the bench. But we've got options now, and when we start surrounding Kudus with more players like Kudus and Somerville and others, etc., all of a sudden defenders are not going to be 2 or 3 ganging up on him like they've done for most of this season, because then with Bowen there and Paquetá coming back from injury and Ferguson there as well, all of a sudden defenders aren't going to know who they need to mark. So I feel sorry for Kudus. I feel it's just not happening for him, but sometimes he's his own worst enemy. He's trying hard, but sometimes he's just lay it off to a player that's in a better position. Look, guts, endeavour. You can't. We walked away. I bumped into some of the guys I know, Bart and his son, and Grant and all that, and you're going to see their views on this game straight after what I've done. But they've all said the same thing. You come away from this game and you go, I'm not upset, because at least we put some endeavour in. We tried, and we played really well. We were on the front foot. We were going at them. And we tried to sort of get back into the game rather than just sitting back like we've done in the past under Moyes and under Lopetegui, etc. This is what we want. We want to see a West Ham United team that is going for it. And I think in that respect, we're getting that. Potter will have the rest of the season just to fine-tune the players, get more out of Guilherme. Guilherme, he's got pace. He's got skill. Give him the confidence, give him the opportunity. Lewis Orford came on, Ollie Skiles came on. You looked a little bit like he was up against some tricky, I don't know who it was, but he was up against a tricky player on there, and it looked like almost a baptism of fire for him. But I'm glad that Potter is giving these young players an opportunity, and I just hope now that we've got James Ward-Prowse back, and we've got Ferguson in. I hope he doesn't forget these young players who have turned up in our time of need. Lewis Orford came on, and Casey was on the bench, and Skiles came on as well. And I hope that they still get an opportunity. But I also hope within that Guilherme continues to get his chance, because I've liked what I've seen so far. So of the players that were apparently rumoured to be moving on in this window, Guilherme and Andy Irving, those 2 players have proved that they should be part of this squad, and well done to them. Disappointing result, but not disappointed in the performance. We now got a couple of weeks off before we face Brentford at home on the 15th, I think, of February. So, but I'll be back. I'm going to do a review of the transfer window, of what it was, and talk about what these players are going to bring to West Ham United. So look out for that on Tuesday. But we finish, 2-1 against Chelsea. I think Chelsea were lucky, and I think Chelsea know that they were lucky to have gotten anything out of this game. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very soon. Like I say, coming straight up is going to be some views from some other fans, from Bart, Tommy and Grant, so listen out for that as well.
But I think we would say, I personally think we were unlucky.
Yeah, good performance.
We haven't got anyone to put it in the net. That's the trouble.
But you come away from a defeat, and it doesn't.
Well, it's positive. It's positive.
Positive defeat,
positive, isn't it?
It's a positive defeat.
Referee needs to look at himself. That was a blatant foul on Bowen.
There's no bench though. There's plenty of.
Well, what do you think of Ferguson coming in now?
I don't know. He's seen enough.
We know what he's like.
And attacking option.
At least it's someone.
He's young. That's good.
Yeah.
It might bring.
It might help Brighton, but it will help West Ham for having an extra.
I don't mind that we ain't got an obligation. I don't mind.
No, I don't mind because
I don't
for
actually
the,
mind
it's a
Danny
short
Ings.
time option and we need something and something needed done.
Yeah, I just.
And hopefully Guilherme will show us.
Yeah, I
He
think
looks
he's
like a player, doesn't he?
got pace on
He's
him,
got
mate.
pace.
He's got pace.
And
He
as
done
you
well.
said, he created 2 or 3 chances.
He did, and he done well. He held off that fella for
So
for
strong
one
pace.
we all hate.
yeah.
Cucurella.
God, what a wanker he is.
Yeah.
He's such a bitch, isn't he? I mean, he is, isn't he? He done nothing
hate
but
him.
whinge. He was whinging at that poor cow, the linesman. He whinged at the ref, and he done
Who's
nothing.
at number 8? Enzo.
Oh,
I
is it?
think it is.
Oh, I
yeah.
hate him.
Another one that we hate.
And
just
the number
kept on
7 that
complaining.
scored a goal, he
Oh,
was
that's
another.
right.
See, the difference is what you said earlier on.
They can bring on.
They can bring on quality.
Yeah.
They've got the quality. So if it ain't working, they bring on quality. And we, unfortunately,
He ain't got it.
But then we still
We've
did
got-
really well. Even
They could
without-
oil millions,
even
couldn't
without the quality.
They could have oil mill and
We
should
got
be.
the poor millions, but it just
We
don't
could have
seem to
poor
work.
millions. Yeah.
well, we
And
got
Wiki. He's a big letter, isn't he? Where is he then? Wiki?
who
With his
Lachert.
buttons,
The
Lachert.
shirt, yeah.
So is what
That
Lachert
shirt.
saying that there were no trains is a load of rubbish.
And I reckon
We
Tommy
all
and
travelled
Billy
on the train,
came on
David.
the same.
Yeah, we were on the same train.
Oh
No
dear.
eye contact today when I got to the office.
There you go. So he let the whole side. It's because he didn't turn up with his shirt, which is why we lost.
Well, if you don't want to go to Arsenal, Dave, I'm happy to take your ticket. If the trains aren't running, I'm sure I can get there. Probably won't be that weekend. It'll probably go via
And
London.
so we're laughing after the defeat, so it's all good.
Yeah,
well,
because-
it's better football.
We didn't deserve to lose, did we? We didn't deserve to
But
lose.
then I look ahead of myself and I see this queue and I thought, why did we go on the bus and on the tube?
Well, yeah, but it's stuck in a bit of traffic, mate. It was only because it's up to.
Bit of traffic. Fuck me.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Oh well. We move on. Got a week off now.
and then we have
got
Brentford at home.
Brentford at home.
Yeah.
Don't travel well.
But that should be better. I don't think we'll be unlucky against
Ferguson's
others. Not
debut.
yet.
We have been
We've played
unlucky,
the same
haven't we?
way, though.
Yeah, Villa, like you said, Villa, we've been unlucky. This
Yeah.
game, I don't think we deserve to lose.
At some point it will turn around and we'll get a result.
Yeah.
But what are you playing for this season? Pride?
Well, we're playing. No,
For
now
next
we're
season,
playing
Get
for
a
nothing.
team.
We're playing for next
We're
season.
playing to get a team on.
So now it's his opportunity to see
Yeah.
what everyone's
And
about.
then he can-
Give Guilherme more game time. Give Irving
Yeah.
more game time. Stop playing Danny Ings.
Yeah, because
And
you can give him
Mavropanos.
play time.
And
now because it's about
Mavropanos.
nothing,
He's
is it?
getting your
So-
centre back.
I did ask tonight, are we getting any last minute bids for a defender? And the answer was no.
Oh, it's a shame.
So Dinos is our number 1 centre back for the rest of the season.
So why did you bring him on today?
What's the matter with
I don't know why I brought him on, to be
Tadebo's
honest.
injured, eh?
Tadebo's still injured.
Yeah.
He'll be
He
back in
doesn't
about
want to anyway.
3 or 4
He's
weeks.
still a bit better than Mavropanos is.
I think he's got a class in him.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
he doesn't want to play here, does he?
No, I don't know. He didn't want to play under Lopetegui. But then if you were a footballer, would you have wanted to play under Lopetegui?
It was boring, maybe.
You know.
But I think Cresswell and Kufa are working where they play today.
Getting the best out of him, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know.
To be fair,
Considering they're on their way out.
They did play well.
I didn't have a problem with him.
No.
today.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with them. You know, they're putting their effort in. They're doing their best.
Yeah.
The defence did their
It was a
job.
bit
They
of
just
a,
got unlucky.
it was a bit of an
Yeah.
eye opener for Skulls because he was up against a right tricky little fucker.
You could see almost in the headlights.
Yeah, he
you
was a
know,
little bit. But
rabbit in the headlights.
Especially when him and Bowen collided with each other and they ran and the ball
Yeah.
went to them. They got a couple of luck. They got a lot of lucky breaks.
They did get lucky, and when we had our chances, but we just didn't put them away, did we?
Could have at the end.
Could have. I mean, look, it was a good turn, but he had to turn. Yeah, you know.
I know, but it was.
But he's been quite wasteful, isn't he?
Players there, didn't they? Every time he turned, there was
Yeah.
5 players there.
And that's the problem. When we get players like Somerville back,
Yeah.
along with Bowen,
Not an option.
you know,
Someone
you've
else
got
needs to look
exactly, and then they don't know who to mark. Whereas
They
with
know
Kudus
exactly
there,
which one,
yeah,
yeah.
Because he
yeah.
always does the same thing if he's by himself. He always just runs into
I really
trouble.
hope that
And he just
I really
loses.
hope that young Brazilian lad gets some fucking time.
Guilherme,
Yeah, and get some time and you know.
Can't be 25 million for nothing, can it?
Well,
There
At 18
must be
years old,
something.
or 17 at the time.
he was 17 when
I'm
we
just
bought him.
saying,
Yeah,
I think he's got to have some game. If he's playing the youngsters, he's got to come into that.
yeah.
He's got to come into that.
Well, we ain't sold him.
No, but he hasn't
So-
played the others and not him.
Yeah.
So that's the worry.
You've also got to look at it that we've got a young striker, this is Ferguson. We've got Bowen, who's okay, you know, but we've got
We got a nucleus now,
yeah,
you know.
Right, the thing's playing, it might bring Kudos out of his shell a little bit instead of that he's got that Ben Rama mentality at the moment, and he's just running down blind.
Yeah, he did
Prowse
run down
went out,
blind
didn't he?
alleys tonight, didn't
Ward
he?
Prowse, was he?
As a captain,
Ward-Prowse is
he's
back.
a good
Yeah, but is he
captain,
gonna-
and he can take some calls.
Ward-Prowse will be a good backup,
Yeah, I think
won't he?
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse will come on when we need, you know, someone to be a bit more assured in the middle, and he'll be fine.
There isn't really anyone after today.
And finally,
you
that
can't
free
really
kick
take
that
anyone
will
off for him.
Yeah.
bring him over Beckham.
Say again.
Finally, that free kick that will.
Well, you know what?
I'll break the record.
Thank goodness he didn't do that at Nottingham Forest, because he's been waiting to do that. Now he's back at West Ham.
Well, it's on loan. That would just be the West Ham way.
That would have been the West Ham way, yeah. Go and break a record
Yeah.
when you're not playing for us.
Still are under our name.
Cheers, lads.